Good afternoon, traders. John Caruso coming to you here for the afternoon of September 6th with your currency outlook moving forward. First, we'll look at some of the data we saw this morning. ADP employment did miss by approximately 37,000 jobs from consensus. We saw a reading of 163,000 versus an expected 200,000. U.S. equities right now largely having a down day. This is the third straight down day that we've seen since we started September. A lot of ugly developments on the chart, so we're not quite ready to call a top in the U.S. equity situation, but we are seeing the market breathe a little bit here, which it needed to do. Taking a look at the U.S. dollar. Dollar's largely having a down day, down 16 points, 94.98. The market is still bullish trend, according to our model. It is, however, showing some signs of exhaustion. We did see that big blow-off run upwards close to about 96, and now we're starting to see the market breathe a little bit. If you take a look at the chart that we prepared for you here, I do largely expect, you can see that blow off top, I do largely expect a lot of sideways chop in between those parallel lines, which is the range that I would recommend that you attempt to manage here. The upside is about 95.40, and you look at about 94 on the downside. So try to manage that range accordingly. Inverse to the U.S. dollar, obviously it's been making a lot of noise over the last several weeks is emerging market currencies. So if you track the likes of Brazil or Argentina or even the Turkish lira, we are seeing some of those currencies bouncing from extreme oversold levels. So that's kind of allowing the U.S. dollar to breathe a little bit as well. So keep that in mind when we're tracking the U.S. dollar versus EM. Inverse to the dollar, looking at the euro currency, we are largely having a flat to lower day, pretty much a nothing day. The market's down 2.5 points. The upside down on the chart, if you take a look there, looks like about 118 on the upside, 115.50 on the downside. So much, it's pretty much the dollar in reverse. Just take a look at that range between those parallel lines. You just want to keep those two levels in mind as we move forward. We are starting to, we don't quite have the evidence yet for the euro currency, but we are starting to see some support on the charts in the euro. So, it still largely remains bearish trend. I believe that's the bias you need to hold on that particular market. But, we're starting to see some signs that possibly the lion's share of that sell-off in the euro versus USD could be behind us. Lastly here, I want everyone to keep an eye on the Japanese yen. If you take a look at the chart, we're dancing on a very long trend line right now in the yen. We're looking at the September contract. We are rolling over to December, so keep that in mind tomorrow. But right now we're trading about 90.24 on the September contract, dancing along that longer term trend line. Keep an eye on that level right there. Some potential fundamental news that could drive that chart higher. Could be that the Bank of Japan, they have started to toy with the idea that they might slowly but surely begin to remove the stimulus that's been in effect over there for quite some time. So that's kind of a near-term development that we're keeping an eye on. We're not for sure on that quite yet, but we're going to keep an ear to the ground for everything that the BOJ has to say moving forward. So that's all I have for you today. Once again, you can always reach out to us at the desk if you want to talk about some of the other broader-based currencies. I'm John Caruso. We'll see you back here next time.